Right. I know. Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing that's really, I like.
Thank you for coming out this evening. You could have chosen to stay home where it was warm, but you chose to come out and raise your voice for peace. My name is Rachel Ventura, and I'm a progressive Democrat running for Congress. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine two little blonde-haired girls giving their father hugs and kisses as he prepares for deployment. The tears in everyone's eyes and the hopeful promises of safe return. And I want you to imagine what it's like for a military spouse to get the call from a captain on the boat notifying you that something has happened. And I want you to consider the agony and the uncertainty as the days tick by before that service member is back home. For those who come back from deployment injured, the next months and years are excruciating. Some never come home. How many troops are we going to be called in the next days and months to go serve? How many lives is America willing to sacrifice to achieve her goal? How many lives are you willing to sacrifice, and what exactly is that goal? As a mother of two daughters who has a father in the military, I take the issue of protecting our future very seriously. And that definitely includes doing everything in our power to make sure we stay out of war. Since the Bush era, the power to declare war has slowly transferred to one man, as Congress has looked the other way. Now that one man is Donald Trump. This December, many members of Congress disregarded their jobs in protecting the checks and balances of power when they passed the National Defense Authorization Act, known as the NDAA, which included a blank check to allow the president to use government funding to conduct the very strike that has landed us in this current situation. What you may not know is in June of 2019, Representative Ro Khanna, a Democrat from California and the vice chair of the Progressive Caucus, inserted an amendment that would have strengthened the congressional oversight of President Trump's military spending and the ability to launch a war, specifically the war on Iran. The amendment passed in June, but was stripped away from the final $738 billion military spending bill that passed in December. Another amendment introduced by Representative Barbara Lee from California, also a progressive, would have limited the executive branch's war powers given by the AUNF. This amendment was removed from the NDAA before the final vote. Congress should have voted no on that final bill, demanding that the amendments to limit Trump's ability to continue destabilizing the world should have been included. 40 progressives did vote no, but the rest of the members of Congress instead voted to pass the funding bill, including my opponent, Bill Foster. You cannot give an unhinged president a blank check for war in December and then criticize the man for cashing in the same check a month later. This is not a proud moment for Congress, and this is not a proud moment for our country. If elected to represent the people of the 11th District, I will be joining the courageous members of Congress in the Progressive Caucus who have had the foresight to predict this nightmare. I will not be a part of the problem. Instead, I will stand up for American people and what is right. I will not be another silent voice in the Democratic Party, and I will not be the status quo. Rather, by showing up at this rally today, each and every one of us has declared that we will instead be a part of the solution. A solution that brings us one step closer to a peaceful future. We must ask ourselves, do we want our tax dollars going to educate our children, or to sending the children of working class families who will have to fight and die in the new Middle East conflict? Do we want our leaders who consider the consequences before acting and to think about the long-term damages being enacted against our future? We have been at war so long that if you speak out against war, they label you as anti-American. Being pro-peace is not anti-American. Demanding that our Congress do their job is not anti-American. Expecting a better system of government because the status quo just doesn't cut it anymore is not anti-American. And speaking out against this act of war in Iran is not anti-American, it is patriotic. My vision of the world includes a world in which we hold our elected officials accountable for their actions. A world where everyone is treated with dignity, even if we disagree with each other's personal actions. I imagine a world with leaders that inspire and transform, better jobs, a stronger economy, more time with family, and better pay. I imagine equal and affordable access to health care. It is a world in which you can marry the person you love, a world where people have access to clean water, fresh air, and healthy food. I envision building a world that protects human rights with new and strengthened alliances to ensure global safety, fair diplomatic negotiations, and peace around the world. I imagine a nation of united Americans coming together, people of every background, class, skin color, religion, gender, to create a government that works for everyone. And I imagine a world where two little girls hug their father when he returns home from deployment unharmed. And it starts with saying no to the war in Iran, and then voting for a stronger voice in Congress on March 17th. I am asking for your vote. My name is Rachel Ventura, and I'm running for Congress because I believe this world is possible.